Hi, and welcome to City Hall. Today marks 100 days since I took office, so I want to take a few moments to highlight the work we've been doing to put Selma first. When I think about my first 100 days in office, I think about the parable of the tower. The verses when Jesus asked, "Which of you, wishing to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost to see if he has the resources to complete it? Otherwise, if he lays the foundation and is unable to finish the work, everyone who sees it will ridicule him." When I ran for mayor, I set out a big vision for our future. But that vision can't be achieved without first counting the cost and seeing if we have the resources to achieve it. I believe in Selma, and I know that we can reach any goal if we do it together. After all, we're a national landmark, symbolizing to the world what progress looks like when there's a people-powered movement. But as your mayor, I am tasked with working alongside the city council to count the cost of everything our city needs. Once the city council sets a budget and make their decisions, my office must be a responsible steward of the resources we have so we can set out to achieve our goals. The past 100 days in office has been a great deal of counting the cost and making a game plan, though we've had a few notable achievements along the way. For example, I'm proud to say that Selma is a little bit safer today than we were 100 days ago. Not only have we secured City Hall with security guards and metal detectors, but we have hired a top police chief and a consulting firm to improve our law enforcement operations, including the possible hiring of 11 new officers. Those improvements have already led to the arrest of 3 suspects and a citywide robbery spree, helping all of us sleep a little better at night. In addition, my office has worked along with Alabama Power to install new street lights and repair existing lights. We're looking at lighting throughout the entire city to have a comprehensive plan to make sure that we light up our city. Now, if you're still having problems with lighting in your areas, we urge you to contact Alabama Power, or we urge you to contact City Hall to make sure that we are addressing those issues in your respective area. When I ran for office, I ran on the policy of putting safety first. While we still have so much more to do, I'm confident as your mayor that laying a solid foundation to improve public safety is a step in the right direction for our city. Additionally, we've taken a lot of steps to improve and streamline our operations within City Hall. You work hard for your taxpayer dollars, and I know that means we should work smart to spend those dollars wisely. Unfortunately, a lot of steps we're taking have caused some confusion in the community, and I want to make sure you're getting all the details. When I first came to City Hall, the first item on our agenda was conducting a full assessment of all city departments. This includes making sure that city policies and procedures are in place and being followed, and the City Hall is clean and organized when you visit. We also conducted an analysis of existing policies that are on the books, but weren't at the time being executed effectively. Our city government functions with 3 branches of government, just like our state and federal governments. That means the city council, our legislative body, is responsible for passing our budget and city ordinances, while my office, our executive branch, is responsible for carrying out the city's council budget and enforcing those ordinances. And in doing this, we'll work closely with the council to combine job positions and reduce personnel costs and delivering the same services at a reduced cost for the city's budget. We have discovered within the budget a possible cost savings, a drastic cost savings for our city. We are currently waiting the opinion of the city council approval for us to right-size government and to reform our government that we can be more effective for you. We'll look very closely at policies put in place and decided it was best for the people of Selma that we enforce those policies fairly across the board. Now city vehicles are all parked in front of City Hall when they aren't being used, or will minimize the use for a cost with rates and overuse. Now landlords are being held accountable for providing dumpsters and making sure that their tenants have garbage services to cut down on illegal dumping and unsighted litter on our roadways. And we're not only doing that, but we're moving forward enforcing the city's policy of asking events hosts to pay for the cost of the city services their events require. In the past, the city has footed the bill for events like the Battle of Selma and the Jubilee, leaving our budget strapped to cover the cost of those events. We can no longer afford to provide the same courtesy to all events looking to host in Selma. And it's not your responsibility as a taxpayer to pick and choose which events we will support and which events we will charge. I know this is an adjustment for the event host, and the city is more than willing to work with these events hosts as we move forward to make sure that these events not only benefit the event host, but it benefit us as a city and as citizens throughout this great historic city. In addition to making our government more efficient and our city more appealing, we're also developing Selma's potential through revitalization. Our office spearheaded the 8-Ward 8-week cleanup project to pick up litter, to clean out ditches, and to clear storm drains and demolish condemned houses. We completed Butterfly Park, which is a project carried over from Mayor Evans' administration to give families a place to play by the river. And we're working even closer with the Downtown Redevelopment Authority to create a strategic plan to move Selma's downtown area into the 21st century with storefronts and buildings that will be renovated and revitalized downtown Selma. We'll also begin the Timber Bridge project and the Splash Pad project to create a beautiful downtown riverfront area for tourism. All that which we are doing reminds me of a story. It's a story of a tourist who was visiting a city. The tourist came across a man who was at work downtown in the city. And the man who came across the first mason, he asked him as he was chipping away at chunks of granite from a large block. He seemed at the time not to be happy. He was just chipping away and frequently looking at his watch. And so the tourist, when he approached the man, he asked him, what are you doing here? What is going on here in the city? Well, being upset by the work he was doing, the first mason said, I'm hammering this stupid rock, and I can't wait until 5 o'clock get here so I can go home. The tourist still been very interested in what was going on in the city, wanted to know more about what was happening. He went to the second mason and seeming more interested in his work. The second mason was just hammering diligently, and when asked what it was that he was doing, he answered the tourist. He said, well, I'm molding this block of rock here so that it can be used with others to construct a wall. It's not bad work, but I'll sure be glad when it's done. The tourist still interested in what was going on downtown in that city. He came to the third mason, and the third mason was hammering at his block fervently, taking time to stand back and admire his work. He chipped off small pieces until he was satisfied that it was the best he could do. When he was questioned about his work, he stopped, gazed skyward, and proudly proclaimed, I am building a cathedral. Selma, where we are, we did not get here overnight, but the work that we are putting in, block by block, street by street, neighborhood by neighborhood, not only are we building a cathedral, we are building a city where our grandkids can look back and say, because they built a solid foundation, we are who we are today. So Selma, until the next time you hear from us with Moments with the Mayor, let's pick up our hammers, let's continue to build together, because I know together we can and we will do great things here in this historic city. Until next time, be blessed.